My boss told everyone I quit when I was actually in the hospital fighting for my life. I taught 4th grade at Riverside Elementary for 6 years. Perfect attendance, teacher of the year twice, ran the after-school reading program, never missed a single day until last October when I didn't show up on a Tuesday morning. I was in a coma. Car accident on my way to work around 7:15 a.m. Drunk driver ran a red light going 67 miles per hour and hit my driver's side door. My car spun 3 times before wrapping around a telephone pole. I don't remember any of it. The paramedic said I coded twice in the ambulance. I spent 9 days completely unconscious in the ICU. When I finally woke up, my sister was sitting next to my bed crying. She grabbed my hand and said something that made my blood run cold even through all the medication. Your principal already replaced you. She told everyone you resigned. I thought she was confused from lack of sleep and stress. Maybe she misunderstood something. Then she pulled out her phone and showed me the school's official Facebook post from 3 days after my accident. We are sad to announce that Ms. Chen has decided to pursue other opportunities outside of education. We wish her well in her future endeavors and thank her for her years of service. My accident had been all over the local news. Woman critical after downtown collision. Local teacher in serious condition. They absolutely knew exactly where I was and what happened to me. I had 67 get well cards from my students sitting on the table in my hospital room. Their parents had dropped them off at the school's front desk over the past week. Principal Hayes had signed for every single one of them, but never once acknowledged publicly that I was fighting for my life. 2 weeks later, I was finally stable enough to sit up and use my phone for more than a few minutes. My hands were still shaking from the trauma, but I managed to call the school's main office. The secretary, Mrs. Peterson, answered on the second ring. Riverside Elementary, this is Patricia. Hi, Mrs. Peterson, it's Amanda Chen. I'm calling about my classroom and when I can. She went completely silent. I could hear her breathing, but she wasn't saying anything. Finally, she whispered, Ms. Chen, we thought we didn't know if put Principal Hayes on the phone, please. Another long pause, then hold music. I waited for almost 4 minutes. Finally, his voice came through, trying to sound surprised and relieved. Amanda, oh thank God you're all right. We heard you were in some kind of accident, but didn't know how serious it was or how to reach you. I was already pulling up the Facebook post on my sister's phone with my other hand. Really, because you announced my resignation 3 days after I almost died. While I was in a coma, you told the entire community I quit. Long pause. I could hear him breathing heavily. Amanda, we needed to fill your position. The kids needed stability and consistency. We couldn't just leave the classroom without a teacher indefinitely. You could have said I was injured and recovering. You could have said I was on medical leave. Instead, you posted that I quit. You made it sound like I abandoned my students. Why would you do that? Another pause, longer this time. We didn't want parents to worry or ask questions. It seemed like the cleanest way to handle the transition during a difficult time. The cleanest way? I was in the ICU with a punctured lung and internal bleeding, and you were worried about clean transitions. My voice was getting louder and a nurse poked her head in looking concerned. Amanda, I understand you're upset, but I hung up. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. My sister took it from me and asked what I wanted to do. Alright, I told her to find the superintendent's direct email. I spent the next hour writing everything out. Attached screenshots of the Facebook post, attached the news article about my accident with the date and time, attached photos of the get well cards with the school's signature on the delivery receipts. The timeline proved without question that they knew exactly what happened to me. Superintendent Morrison called me back in 20 minutes. Her voice was tight and professional. Ms. B. Chen, I've reviewed everything you sent. This is being handled immediately, and I apologize that you're dealing with this while recovering from such a traumatic accident. Principal Hayes was placed on administrative leave the next day. The school was forced to send a correction email to every single parent in the district admitting they had misrepresented my departure and that I had actually been seriously injured in an accident. 3 teachers quit within the week in protest of how I was treated. Parents started a petition. The local news picked up the story, and suddenly everyone knew what Hayes had done. I never went back to Riverside. Took a job at a private school across town that actually valued their staff and didn't lie about teachers nearly dying. Hayes was quietly transferred to some district office position where he pushes papers and can't hurt anyone else. Sometimes the best revenge isn't dramatic. It's just exposing the truth and watching everything fall apart on its own.